Imagine you visit the most beautiful city on Earth. The canals are exactly as you pictured them. The bridges, the light on the water in the early morning. Everything looks perfect. But then you notice something strange. You haven't met a single person who actually lives there. And that's because Venice isn't really a city anymore. Venice should not exist. It was built on water, not near it, not next to it, on it. Wooden foundations driven into the floor of a lagoon, layered with stone, holding up an entire city. No roads, no cars, just 118 islands, connected by over 400 bridges, and a network of canals that somehow still works. For 1,000 years, Venice wasn't just a city. It was one of the most powerful places in the world. A maritime empire controlling trade between East and West. Bankers, merchants, diplomats, wealth flowing in from every direction. The water made it untouchable. No army could reach it. The lagoon wasn't a weakness, it was protection. That was the advantage. That was the system. And for centuries, it worked. But now, the water is still here, and now it's the problem. Venice floods. Not occasionally, not dramatically, routinely, quietly. The kind of problem that doesn't feel like a disaster until it becomes normal. They call it acqua alta, high water. When the tide rises, the city doesn't fight it. It just gives in. Streets disappear, shops flood, and San Marco, one of the most famous places on Earth, turns into a shallow lake. Tourists laugh, take photos, walk through it in rubber boots. For them, it's part of the experience. For the people who live here, it's just another day. They move furniture higher, sweep water out of their doors, and wait for it to happen again. Because it always does. The flooding has always existed. But now, it's getting worse. The sea is rising, and the city itself is sinking. Slowly, almost invisibly, pulled down into the lagoon it was built on. Venice is moving toward the water. At the same time, the water is moving toward Venice, so they tried to stop it. In 2003, construction began on MOS, a system of massive barriers designed to hold the sea back. 50 years of planning, 20 years of construction, 6 billion euros. It was finished in 2020, and it already needs repairs. Because the water doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it just waits, and it always wins. Every year, around 30 million people visit Venice. Fewer than 50,000 actually live there. That's not tourism, that's replacement. On peak days, the crowds are so dense, you can barely move. Bridges turn into bottlenecks, streets stop functioning, and the city starts to feel less like a place and more like an event. They've tried to control it. Turnstiles, entry fees, timed access, all debated, partially implemented, quietly ignored. Because Venice can't survive without tourists. Tourism isn't part of the economy, it is the economy. Souvenir shops, hotels, restaurants charging 40 euros for a plate of pasta and a view. This is what keeps the city alive and what's slowly killing it. Because a real city needs more than visitors. It needs people who stay. And those people are disappearing. The grocery stores, the hardware shops, the ordinary places that make a city livable. They're gone. Replaced by masks, glass, Airbnbs. One by one, Venice stopped being built for residents and started being built for outsiders, until living there stopped making sense and the locals left. Not all at once, but steadily, quietly. One family at a time, priced out, worn out, or simply unwilling to live inside someone else's vacation. In the 1950s, Venice had 170,000 residents. Today, fewer than 50,000 remain, and the number falls every year. At its worst, the city was losing one family every single day. Entire neighborhoods that were once alive, children playing in the campus, markets, neighborhood bars where the same people sat every morning, are now silent except for the sound of rolling suitcases. The ones who stayed are mostly old. The young left because there was no work that wasn't tourism, no housing they could afford, no future that looked like anything except servicing an endless parade of visitors who would be gone by Sunday. There's a protest movement among the remaining residents. They hang banners from windows, they march occasionally, they have a phrase, Venezia non è un museo. Venice is not a museum. But the banners come down, the tourists keep coming, and slowly, the people who actually know what Venice smells like in November, who remember what it sounded like before the cruise ships, who have grandparents buried on the island of San Michele, they become rarer. Until one day, not far from now, the last person who was born in Venice will die there, and the city will continue, full of visitors, empty of people. Here is the uncomfortable part. The thing killing Venice isn't a corporation. It isn't a government policy or a war or a natural disaster. Though the water is coming for it regardless. The thing killing Venice is love. Specifically, the kind of love that consumes what it loves, that shows up in such numbers, with such hunger, that the object of its affection is slowly crushed beneath the weight of the attention. You wanted to see Venice, so did 30 million other people. And so hotels replaced apartments, restaurants replaced hardware stores, and the residents, the people who were Venice, not just visiting it, had nowhere left to go except away. This is what we do to beautiful things. We find them, we photograph them, we tell everyone, and then we watch, slightly confused, as the thing we loved stops being what we loved about it. The tourists in Venice aren't villains. They're people who heard about a dying city and wanted to see it before it was gone, which is exactly how it dies faster. There is a word Venetians use for the feeling of watching your city disappear while the world applauds. Actually, there isn't. Some feelings are too specific to name. What's left of Venice is extraordinary. The light is still real. The stone is still there. The water still moves the way it always has. Indifferent, patient, permanent. But a city is not its buildings. A city is people. People who argue in the streets, who know their neighbors, who've been going to the same bar for 30 years, who remember what the place was before you arrived, and those people are leaving. One by one, quietly, the way a ghost disappears. Until one day you realize the room has been empty for a long time, and you were so busy taking photos, you never noticed.